The Razak Empire battle fleet waited at the edge of the Sol system. Their black ships made a perfect line in space. Admiral Tejo stood on the bridge. His scaled fingers tapped on the metal table as he looked at the image of Earth. "Admiral, we should be careful about Earth," said Commander Jesu. Her 4 eyes blinked fast, showing she was worried. Tejo waved his hand. "Humans hardly have spaceships. They use simple bullets and bombs. How can they stop our quantum cannons?" The fleet moved past the big gas planets. They sent small scout ships ahead. As they passed Mars, something strange happened. "Admiral, we can't talk to our scout ships anymore," said Officer Minot. His tentacles moved quickly over the controls. Tejo moved closer. "What do you mean? Were they destroyed?" "No, sir. They're just gone. No pieces, no energy, nothing." A bright white light filled the bridge. Tejo felt weird, like reality was bending around him. When he opened his eyes, the stars outside had changed. The fleet was somewhere else. Far away on Earth, deep under Korea. Director Hyun wrote in her book. April 8. Razak Empire ships successfully moved away. The 4th this month. They seem to be trying more often. Her helper, Juno, asked, "Should we tell the council?" "Not yet," said Hyun, closing her book. "Let's wait until they send something that's actually hard to deal with." Tejo looked around in confusion. The ship's systems were working, but nothing outside looked familiar. The stars made patterns he had never seen before. The fleet's 1,000 ships floated in empty space with no planets nearby. "Where are we?" he demanded. "Get me our location." Navigation Officer Donghae pressed buttons with trembling fingers. "Sir, I can't match these stars to any known maps. We're nowhere in our galaxy." Panic spread across the bridge. The mighty Razak Empire had conquered 3 galaxies with their advanced technology. Yet somehow they had been moved across space in seconds. "Check the other ships," ordered Tejo. "Make sure everyone is alive." Communications confirmed all ships were intact. No damage, no deaths, just completely lost. On a screen, Captain Youngmi from another ship appeared. "Admiral, something is happening." In front of their fleet, space seemed to fold open. A small silver craft emerged. It was smooth, with no visible engines or weapons. It was tiny compared to their massive warships. A voice came through all their systems, speaking perfect Razak language. "Greetings, Admiral Tejo. This is Earth Defense Force. You have been relocated to a safe holding dimension." Tejo hissed in anger. "Return us immediately. The Razak Empire does not tolerate such treatment." "Your fleet will be returned to your home system in 72 hours, the calm voice continued. "Your weapons will be disabled, and your star charts will be adjusted to mark Earth as a protected system." Back on Earth, Director Hyun sipped her tea while watching the exchange on a screen. The room around her contained technology far beyond what most humans knew existed. Swirling energy patterns danced across curved displays. "They always react the same way," said Juno with a slight smile. "Anger, threats, then confusion." Hyun nodded. 1,000 years since the Guardians gave us the dimensional technology, and still no one suspects that Earth is anything special. Our strongest defense is looking weak. The Razak fleet would be returned home as promised. Like hundreds of alien armadas before them, they would tell stories of the mysterious disappearance near Earth. Some would believe them. Most would not. And Earth would continue its quiet existence, seemingly primitive and defenseless, while actually being the most advanced civilization in the known universe. The large meeting room of the Galactic Confederation was filled with angry voices. Everyone talked at once. Representative Do-hyun hit the table with his fist. 3 big fleets have disappeared near Earth in just 2 cycles. This cannot be just bad luck. The room grew quiet as High Investigator Sungmin stood up. Her silver and blue robes shimmered in the light as she fixed them. "The Council has chosen me to go to Earth on a peace mission. I will find out what is happening to these ships." Many representatives nodded. Sungmin was known for finding truth where others found only questions. 2 weeks later, Sungmin's small but elegant ship arrived at Earth. She stepped onto the landing pad where smiling humans waited. They bowed slightly, a greeting that her research told her was respectful in their culture. "Welcome to Earth, High Investigator," said a tall man named Director Wonjin. "We are honored by your visit." Sungmin smiled but said nothing about the missing ships. She would watch first, then ask hard questions later. The humans took her on tours of what they called their most advanced places. Sungmin tried not to laugh when they proudly showed her their best technology. "This is our new fusion reactor," said Dr. Juwu, a woman with short black hair and an excited smile. "We hope to have it working in 5 years." Sungmin nodded politely. The Confederation had used fusion power for over 300 years. These humans seemed like children showing off simple toys, but something felt wrong. Her small hidden scanner kept picking up strange energy patterns. These readings suggested technology far beyond what she was being shown. On the 3rd day, they took her to Mars. As they walked through the small human colony, her scanner detected powerful quantum fluctuations. "My device is picking up unusual energy patterns," she said, showing Dr. Juwu the readings. Dr. Juwu looked at the screen and shrugged too quickly. "Oh, those readings? Just natural events. The sun's radiation does strange things to Mars' atmosphere. Nothing important." The answer came too fast, too practiced. Sungmin knew a prepared lie when she heard one. That night in her guest room, Sungmin's assistant Yoonji was working on a small computer. "Did you get into their systems?" Sungmin asked quietly. Yoonji nodded, her eyes never leaving the screen. Their outer security was simple, as expected. But behind it, she looked up with wide eyes. "Their inner systems have protection I've never seen before. It took all my skills to get past it." "What did you find?" "Records, many records. 17 different alien species have tried to come to Earth in the last 100 years. Each one is listed as redirected." Sungmin sat down heavily. 17. The Council only knows about 7 missing fleets. "Most were small groups, not full fleets," said Yoonji. "And there's more. The humans have been watching us for years. They know all about the Confederation." Sungmin looked out her window at the peaceful Earth city lights below. "These humans are playing a dangerous game. They act primitive while hiding advanced technology." "But why?" asked Yoonji. "That's what we need to find out." Sungmin touched a hidden button on her wrist, activating a device that would block any listening technology. "Tomorrow we visit their lunar base. I noticed our hosts got nervous when I asked about it." "What are you thinking?" Sungmin's face grew serious. "I'm thinking that Earth is not what it seems, and we might be in more danger than we realize. These humans are hiding something extraordinary, perhaps the most advanced technology in the galaxy, and we need to discover what it is before they decide to use it for more than just defense." Sungmin moved carefully through the dark tunnel. The cold bit at her face despite the stolen human environmental suit she wore. She had slipped away from her hosts during a tour of their South Pole research station. A misplaced security badge and an unguarded door had given her access to what appeared to be a simple maintenance tunnel. But after walking for 20 minutes, the tunnel had changed. The rough ice walls became smooth metal. The simple lights were replaced by strips that glowed with soft blue light. She reached a massive door with no visible handle. Before she could wonder how to open it, the door silently slid aside. Sungmin hesitated, then stepped through. What she saw made her freeze in place. The room opened into a vast chamber bigger than 10 large starships. Hundreds of humans worked at stations filled with technology she had never seen before. And Sungmin had seen the most advanced technology in the Confederation. A huge machine dominated the center of the room. It looked like a ring of liquid metal that somehow stood upright without support. Inside the ring, space itself seemed to bend and twist. 2 scientists walked past her, talking as if she wasn't there. "The dimensional array needs recalibration after the Razak incursion," said one man, whom others called Engineer Kumbo. "The pocket dimension is getting crowded." His colleague nodded. "If we keep adding ships at this rate, we'll need to open a seventh holding space." Sungman's recording device captured everything. This was impossible. Humans were supposed to be primitive, barely able to reach their own moon. Yet here they were, casually discussing technology that the Confederation's best scientists had only dreamed about. A hand clasped her shoulder. Sungman spun around, ready to fight. A tall human in a simple gray uniform stood there. His badge identified him as General Jinwoo. His eyes showed no surprise or anger at finding her there. "You might as well come with me, investigator," he said calmly. "There's no point hiding anymore." Strangely, Sungman felt relief. At least now she might get some answers. Jinwoo led her to a small plain room with just a table and a few chairs. He offered her water, which she declined. "I assume you have questions," he said. "What is this place? How do humans have technology this advanced?" Sungman demanded. Jinwoo's face grew serious. 200 years ago, a kind species called the Guardians visited Earth. They were running from a cruel empire and gave us defensive technology before continuing their journey. "The dimensional displacement system," Sungman whispered, finally understanding. "Yes, instead of destroying attackers, we simply move them temporarily to another dimension. We've never killed a single invader." Sungman tried to process this. The Razak fleet is safe in a pocket dimension. In a few days, we'll return them to their home system after removing their weapons and changing their memories a little. "But why pretend to be primitive?" Sungman asked. "With this technology, you could leave the galaxy." Jinwoo smiled sadly. "Because humanity needed time. Time to overcome our own violent nature before joining galactic society." He stood and walked to a small window that showed the vast chamber below. "Look at our history, investigator. Every time humans gained powerful technology, we used it to hurt each other first. When we received the Guardian gift, our leaders made a choice. We would use this time to grow as a species, to learn peace, before we stepped onto the galactic stage." Sungman watched the humans working below. They moved with purpose, but without the military precision she expected. "You chose to focus inward instead of building an empire," she said slowly. "Exactly. We'd spent 2 centuries solving our own problems: hunger, disease, climate change, inequality. We've nearly succeeded." Jinwoo turned to face her. "Which brings us to the question, what will you tell the Confederation?" Sungman realized she faced perhaps the most important decision of her life. The big meeting room was completely quiet as Sungman finished speaking. All 50 representatives from different planets sat still, some with their mouths open in shock. "These humans have technology that could change how we travel, fix our energy problems, and yes, rule the galaxy if they wanted. But they have chosen to stay by themselves and only defend peacefully." The silence broke as everyone started talking at once. Some voices were scared, others excited. Representative Do-Yun stood up, his face dark with anger. "How do we know they won't attack us one day? These humans have been lying to everyone for centuries," he shouted. Representative Minna from the water world spoke next. "They could have attacked any time. They chose not to. That shows their true nature." The debate grew louder. Sungman tried to make them listen to reason. "The humans only want peace. They agreed to let me share what I learned because they are ready to join our community as friends." Do-Yun's voice rose above the others. "We should take this technology before they use it against us." Enough representatives agreed with him that a vote was held. Sungman watched in dismay as the council approved a secret military action against Earth. 12 special ships with technology to hide them and block signals would go to Earth and try to steal the dimensional technology. "This is a mistake," Sungman warned. "You don't understand what they can do." No one listened. 3 days later, the special ships left on their mission. The council gathered in the command center to watch their progress. "The ships are approaching Earth's moon," reported a technician. "No sign they've been detected." Sungmin shook her head sadly. They knew you were coming before you even voted. Suddenly, all the screens in the room changed. The image of the approaching ships disappeared. Instead, a human woman with short black hair stood looking at them. Her face was calm but firm. I am Ambassador Minji of Earth. We have moved your military ships to a safe place to make sure no one gets hurt. They will be returned safely. Do-hyun jumped to his feet. How did they break into our systems? This room is completely secure. Ambassador Minji continued speaking. For hundreds of years, we have quietly returned ships that try to invade us. After removing their weapons and changing some memories, we have done this hundreds of times. We don't want to fight, but we will protect ourselves. The image changed to show huge spaces filled with ships. Ships from species all across the galaxy were floating in what looked like bubbles of light. These are some of the vessels we have intercepted over the centuries, Minji explained. All crews are kept comfortable. All ships are returned undamaged except for weapons. The council watched in stunned silence. One of the ships shown was from a powerful empire that had claimed one of their fleets was destroyed in a sun explosion 50 years ago. To show our good faith, your 12 ships are being returned now, said Minji. Their crews are unharmed. Just then, the technician called out in surprise. The ships are back. They've appeared in orbit around our station. Communication came in from the ships. The captains reported that 1 second they were approaching Earth, and the next second they were here. They hadn't even seen what happened. Ambassador Minji's image returned to the screen. We invite the Confederation to send real diplomats to discuss friendship, not thieves to steal what we would gladly share with peaceful partners. The screen went black. The council room was completely silent. Sungmin looked at the shocked faces around her. Now do you understand? The humans could have destroyed those ships. They could have attacked us. Instead, they showed mercy. Representative Do-hyun sat down heavily. For once, he had nothing to say. The great hall in Seoul was filled with beings from 100 different worlds. Some had scales, others had multiple arms or eyes, and some didn't even have solid bodies. They all watched as the human and alien leaders signed the first official peace treaty between Earth and the Galactic Confederation. 3 months had passed since the failed attempt to steal Earth's technology. Now, representatives from all worlds had come to learn the truth. Chief Scientist Yojin stood before the crowd. She was a small woman with gray hair and kind eyes. She pressed a button, and a model of the dimensional system appeared in the air. The dimensional technology isn't just for defense, she explained in a clear voice. It lets us reach unlimited resources from empty parallel worlds. The aliens whispered among themselves. On many of their worlds, people were starving because they had used up their resources. High Counselor Haeun of the Confederation leaned forward in her seat. She was from a race of tall, blue-skinned people known for being direct. You could have conquered us all decades ago, she said. Why didn't you? Ambassador Minji stepped forward. She smiled gently. Because we spent centuries conquering something much harder, our own nature, she said. Our history is full of war, hate, and destruction. We needed to fix those problems before we could safely join galactic society. She touched another button. A new image appeared, showing Earth ships delivering food and medicine to planets suffering from disasters. We've been helping where we could without showing ourselves, Minji said. Now we offer our knowledge freely, but only to those who promise to live in peace with others. The treaty they signed that day created new rules. No one would attack others. Everyone would help each other. The strong would protect the weak. After the ceremony, people from different worlds talked together. Some who had been enemies for generations now stood side by side, curious about this new way of thinking. Investigator Sungmin found Ambassador Minji standing alone, watching the crowd. You know, Sungmin said quietly, many beings think humans are weak because you care about others. Minji smiled as she watched representatives from 100 worlds talking peacefully. The weak need to control others, she said. The truly strong have no need to prove themselves by conquering. 3 days later, the first dimensional portal opened on a dying world in the outer reaches of the galaxy. Clean water flowed through to people who had not seen it in years. A week after that, the first human teachers arrived on the Confederation capital world to show others how to use the technology safely. Across the stars, the story spread of the humans who had the power to rule the galaxy, but chose instead to rule themselves. Other species began to wonder if perhaps there was a better way than conquest and war. On Earth, children still learned about the dark parts of human history, the wars, the cruelty, the destruction. But now they also learned about the great choice when humanity decided to grow up before reaching out. And in a small office beneath Antarctica, Director Hyun and her assistant Juno added one final entry to the old logbook of alien encounters. April 8, final entry. After 247 years of isolation, Earth has joined the galactic community. The Guardian Protocol is officially complete. Juno closed the book for the last time. Do you think the Guardians will ever return to see what we did with their gift? Hyun looked at the screen showing celebrations across 100 worlds. I think they'd be proud, she said. We used their technology not to build weapons, but to build bridges. The end